11 things that can get you kicked off of an airplane and how to handle it. Hi, I'm Yvonne, your host of Wild Travels. Welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Be sure it's solid. That'll notify you every time Wild Travels publishes a new video. Well, there are some things going on with it being the height of the traveling season, and some things have been showing up and popping up in my feed. People just are being deplaned, and I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, I guess they don't know the rules. So I'm going to quickly share with you these 11 things, and then I'll share with you what you can do. So when it comes to the flight crew and you boarding an airplane, couple things you need to understand. Their job is to make it pleasant, make it comfortable, make it safe. And anything that anyone does that interferes with that, they make the call. The minute you step into that metal machine and getting ready to take off, they're there to make sure that everyone on that plane is safe and arrives safely. So let's talk about a couple of things that can get you removed. And so I'm going to start with these. I mean, you know, apparently it's surprising to some people, but so I just thought I'd come on and share with you a little bit of a couple things that will get you booted. So let's understand one thing first. The crew on an aircraft report to no one. So if they put you off a plane or decide that you need to be removed or deplaned, they don't have to contact the FAA. They don't pick up the phone and say, hey, we got somebody out of control. We need permission. That is just not how it works. The pilot is basically the judge. The flight attendants are the jury. And if the jury says, you know, guilty, the judge says out of here. And that's basically how it works. And so I'm gonna go over a couple quick things with you. Now keep in mind, I'm just the messenger. And so I'm gonna share with you the rules so it can, you know, hopefully going forward, you'll be able to avoid some of these issues that we're seeing going on currently in the news and social media and elsewhere. So number one, not following their instructions. This can be as simple as them coming down the aisle and saying, fasten your seatbelt. You don't fasten your seatbelt, you have violated the rule. I mean, it's as simple as, it really is as simple as that. They're the ruling authority. And as I said, the minute you set foot on that airplane, they are in charge. Anything that you do, now according to the FAA rules, I'm going to go over this with you. No person may assault, threaten, intimidate, or interfere with a crew member in the performance of the crew member's duties aboard an aircraft being operated. So basically, if you don't remember anything else, remember that. No assault, threat, intimidation, or interference with the crew, okay? You cannot do that. So that's number one, not following the instructions. It will get you, that's the fastest way to get ejected from an airplane. Number two, being disruptive. You start yelling and screaming and cursing on an aircraft, causing a scene with people around you, other passengers, your boarding pass is revoked, just automatically. And they don't tolerate it. They cannot. So just know that. Now they may give you a warning, you know, maybe one or two warnings, and you know, it's basically sit down and shut up and do not touch him or her. That would me being the flight attendant. And again, I'm just giving you the rules so you'll know what to do. Number three, being too drunk. They're not going to give you a breathalyzer. They're not the police. But if you appear as though you're not able to handle your alcohol, or you're coming on there and you're kind of all over the place, you guys know what I'm saying. Just know that you become disruptive on the aircraft, you're out of there. So that's number three. Number four, I hate to tell you this one, but a crying baby. They can put you off the plane or ask you to leave if you're not able to control little Johnny. I mean, you got to understand, and we get it. I mean, I know when I fly, my ears can start to bother me, or, just the whole idea that all of these people around and you're cramped and maybe the baby's just not used to it and the baby starts getting out of control. I don't know, to contact your pediatrician prior to leaving and find out what the pediatrician would advise. Bring toys, bring fruit, bring snacks, anything you can do to make that baby, comfortable, because again, what they will do is they may suggest that you take a later flight and hopefully you can get the baby to go to sleep, but they are not going to allow you to have a screaming baby or an uncontrollable child on the aircraft disturbing the other passengers. So number 5, smelling gross. You would think people would know that, but some people, a bad body odor, what they're saying is, if you come on there and you have a bad body odor, now all the other passengers are subjected to that for the entire length of the flight. So you will need to be sure that you shower or do whatever you need to do, deodorant or whatever, antiperspirant, whatever it takes, especially if you're someone, most people know, even if it's a medical issue, just do what you need to do to go the extra mile, because if people begin to complain that it's offensive, you're worthy of being removed. Let's see, number 6, not wearing shoes. I mean, you'd think people would know that, but clearly they don't. So it's one of the rules, and you got to understand that for 2 reasons. Your feet may smell. I mean, you just finished hauling it through an airport, and we don't know what your feet are going to smell like if you decide to take your shoes off. Number 2, it's a safety issue. In the event of an emergency, we can't have you scrambling around in the little aisle trying to figure out what happened to your shoes. So you need to keep your shoes on at all times. Wearing provocative clothing. I already discussed that. If you watched that last video, and I'll go ahead and put that video up so you can see it. I mean, it's not a fashion show. It's not a runway. It's not the club. And again, I'm just telling you what the airline is saying. They're saying save the sexy clothing for when you get to your destination. They don't want people around you offended. They just don't want to deal with it. Cover yourself up. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I already did the video on that. But in case you missed it, just so you know, nothing that's going to spark controversy is what they are wanting, okay? Now, being too big. And so you say, well, what does that mean? Because there's different things to different people. And nobody's trying to body shame you or anything like that. It's really a safety issue. So according to the airline, if you cannot fasten your seatbelt, then you're going to have to deplane. I mean, you have to be able to fasten your seatbelt. So I'm not going to go into a lot of that, and I know it may sound discriminatory, but they're saying it's a safety reason. For safety reasons, you have to be able to fasten your seatbelt. All right, so we'll move on. Number 9, allergies, especially those who have peanut allergies severely. This is what they pass out. People look forward to their peanuts. Some people get the pretzels, others want their peanuts. Now, if you talk to the airline or to the stewardess, the flight attendant, and let them know prior, they may set the pretzels aside. Set the peanuts aside and just distribute the pretzels to be kind to you. But, again, just know that if you are excessive with your peanut allergy, you may be asked to deplane. All right, number 10. You come in there looking sick, you're throwing up at the trash can, you can hardly talk, and you're sneezing and blowing your nose and talking about, I'm okay. No, they're going to tell you, you cannot board the plane. They don't want all of these people and you in a closed environment like this, and you're clearly sick. So you'll probably more than likely be asked to deplane. Joining the Mile High Club. Let me see how I can put this. That would be, for those that don't know what the Mile High Club is, That would be engaging in intimate acts with your partner while you're in the sky. Now, it's not a crime. And actually, I was speaking with a flight attendant just yesterday. She was in town, she had a layover, and we were talking about some of these things, and I was sharing with her, you know, my original video, and she confirmed everything that I said in that video, so that made me feel a lot better. But she said it happens more than you realize, you know, that people are in the air just for the thrill of it to do this. But if you get busted, just know they're gonna ask you to leave the plane. Now, in situations like this, they're not going to, if their plane is already in the air and you're committing some of these things, they're not gonna, you know, make an emergency landing unless you've committed a crime. More than likely, you know, they'll work it out. But if any of these things are going on, you know, of course, prior to the plane taking off, and again, just how severe it is, you will have authorities waiting for you when you get to where you're going. So that was number 11. So let's go on to some of the things that you can do. So you've been kicked off your plane, or you've been, you know, held up. They kind of said, you know, hey, you, this way. What can you do? They will get you another flight, and it has to be within a certain time frame. I believe let me go ahead and give you this information for those that want it. A reimbursement ticket must be equal to 200% of your one-way fare to your final destination, with a maximum of $650. So again, you want to be careful. You know, if you're traveling, you know, really an expensive ticket, just know what your maximum is. You don't want to be out there acting crazy and then find out that you've got to pay out of pocket. So keep that in mind. It's going to be between 1 to 2 hours for a domestic flight, and between 1 and 4 hours for an international flight, that they will get you booked on another plane. Now, as I was saying, if you broke the law, you get nothing and you're going to be arrested. Now, for those of you who just feel like, you know, my feelings have been hurt, I'm going to go to small claims court, I'm going to do whatever. My advice, and I'm not a lawyer, you know, talk to them, work it out with them, get your frequent flyer miles or a voucher, get your apology, and basically move on. Because you're basically, you know, fighting, that's one of these things you can't fight City Hall on. They are the authority, they make the rules, they ask no one. And so I just wanted to come on and give you a little bit of additional information on this, so you understand when you're seeing these things, either in the media or you know, your social media, understand they're doing their job, and it's generally a result of the passenger's behavior that has caused the conflict or the scene that you're seeing going on. I hope this was helpful information to you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. You guys travel safely, leave comments as you always do, and we will see you next time here on Wild Travels. Bye-bye, everybody.